Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Lucier here for our Tongren weekly healing session. And for people that are here the first time, this is where you can actually put in your requests either on our website, which is anusarwellness.com/weekly, or on 3 places in Facebook, or even chat or Instagram. And we are now on Instagram. So welcome to Instagram, 3 Facebook pages, and our website. And welcome, Ferris. So each week we will work with the TAM healing system at a distance, and everybody gets an active treatment for treating any condition that you want to ask for. So let's begin. We're going to begin right now with Esther. So what we do is we use this as a tool. It's not about this tool, but this is a tool to focus our mind. And you can call it quantum entanglement, oneness of Buddha, or the collective unconscious of Carl Jung. But we are connected energetically all, and we are embracing the open heart of compassion through the gateway of peace, love, and being of service to others. So thank you for joining us for our weekly. And Esther, we will work with pain, brain, and migraine, and you get extra credit for having rhyming in your requests. And bladder, skin, and autoimmune condition. So let's work on that. Blood flow to the brain. We work on a 3-part process. That's how I teach it, because I teach it all over the world, even in different languages. And then we can actually allow others to do this methodology anywhere in the world. You can take charge of your life. So the best thing to do is initialize the brain. Because that's kind of the command control center, and that's going to wake up the command control center to tell the rest of the body, get ready for information. So let's send some good information. And initialize the central nervous system and initialize the endocrine system. For Esther, the brain. These are the brain command points and the brain stem command points. So as you see, I have my partner here today, Mr. Laser, or Mrs. Laser, or all of the above. And we have the laser. So we want to multitask. And we want to use the laser. The laser is like charging the battery. So here we put it on CV17, which is the middle dantian in Chinese medicine, but the heart chakra in yogic and Ayurvedic medicine. So you'll get a double treatment. Command point, command point of the brain stem, CV17. And let me make sure, in fact, I'm going to move back a little bit so people can see my hands. And that works better. There we go. And then blood flow, nerve flow, vertebral artery to the spinal artery. So migraine, GB20. So GB19, 20, 21. GB19, 20, 21, right on the back of the head for the migraine. So let's everyone work to get rid of migraines for Esther. And we'll also work on the immune system to counteract the autoimmune response, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And I was reading an article just today confirming what I've been understanding and reading for quite a while, that the underlying cause of many conditions, including possibility of autoimmune conditions, lupus, MS, and others, is an underlying Epstein-Barr virus infection. So there was a big report from, I think it was Tufts, 223,000 people. So viruses are clever. They actually go in and they don't modify, they break parts of our DNA. Where that is broken creates the disease. So they compared a broken DNA and the related disease, and then a DNA area broken by a virus, and then figured out that the virus, Epstein-Barr virus, for one, created a disease. And we know that to be true for a long time from the medical medium and many others. So then let's work on the bladder and skin, T4 for the skin, T7 for the blood flow for the lower extremities, and S1 to S5 for the bladder. And at the same time, we work for her daughter-in-law, hormone balancing, which is GV20, and fertility, L3. And really good for the fertility is CV4. Acupuncture, especially the acupuncturists in the clinic that I worked with, Christina and Yvonne, very good at this. Vagus nerve down the torso. Bladder, liver 3, and kidney 1. Okay, so there we go. That's for the conditions of pain, brain, migraine, bladder, skin, autoimmune, fertility, and hormone balancing for Esther and her daughter-in-law, as well as anyone else that needs that specific work as well. It can be shared. So next we want to work for Les. I know he's been struggling, so let's all work together for Les and support Les. He's in a lot of pain with his ribs and his energy. Blood flow to the brain. Fractured rib. Increased energy. In tongue area, third eye. Emotional and spiritual energy, as well as physical energy. Blood flow to the brain. And we'll be adding in some guests. Vertebral artery to the spinal artery, so we want to focus on the bones, lymph, and prostate. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. For appetite, T7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we will work on Catherine McGlynn. She's here with us as always, even if she hasn't told us so. So T1, 2, 3, 3 for the lymph, T1 for the bones, but pain, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And hello to Blue Sky, Happy Mama, Lori. So Lori, continued progress. So you're having some progress. You're doing better. Let us know how everybody's doing. If we need to focus differently, need to think differently. For example, if we tap a lot, maybe we need to do something with herbs or special water or some exercise or homeopathics. So we want to make sure we have everything, anything we can think of to help you guys out. L1, 2, 3, L3 for the prostate. But for less, especially for the bones, the craniosacral fluid, sphenoid bone, GB789. Vertebral artery to the spinal artery, and T11 for the 11th rib for less. So, grounding, like earthing. And Laurie, you're doing better. Great. And we're going to work with Uta in Germany as well tonight. Marilyn from France. And grounding. And one more for less, CV17. And let's work on the curved part of T11 or the 11th rib for less. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. Okay, next we have, let's check out Instagram. Okay. Happy Mama. Let's do a complete tune-up chi for perfect blood and lymph. So I learned a great tip for the lymph drainage. Of course, number one, there are 3 main things you can do for the lymph. And you can read a book by Larry Lymphocyte, the book called The Cancer Answer, but there are 3 good techniques for the lymph drainage. One, of course, is rebounding. Number 2 is lymph skin brushing. And number 3 is a castor oil pack on the belly. And that releases the lymph as well. So, perfect blood flow to the brain command points, circulation, GV17, so T1 for the bones, GB39 for the bones, and FYI, anybody that has had COVID, and Laura, you're next, by the way, has had COVID, I highly recommend pine needle tea vitamin C, vitamin D, all those good things. So in addition, for the perfect blood, for the bone marrow, GB789 and tailbone 1 to 4 for the cranial sacral fluid. And the spleen, which receives B cells from the bones, puts them through college, graduates them, matures them, sends them to the body to build antibodies and recycle blood as well. And for the lymph, T3, and let's work on all the lymph nodes, the axillary lymph of the armpits, inguinal lymph of the groin, and pelvic lymph, inguinal and pelvic lymph, and the lymphatic duct up to the subclavian artery, stomach 11 and 12. Blessings and gratitude to you too. So let's do an extra 1 GB39 for the bones, liver 3, and kidney 1. Okay, so next we have gut health, and we will also begin for Laurie and Blue Sky, but let's go for gut health. You are next. Blood flow to the brain, TB13 for the relaxed mind, for everyone. So many aspects to work on the gut. Vertebral artery to the spinal artery. Let's work right on the stomach. T9, left side, stomach. But the gut is more than just the stomach. It's the microbiome, which is T11, T12, L4, L5. 70 to 80% of our immune system is in the gut. A malfunctioning gut can actually cause Parkinson's. But certainly not all the time, very rarely, but it does. So those are 2 ways to work on the gut. So grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. And then the third way to work on the gut-brain axis, GB12, the vagus nerve, to the gut, CB4. So all 3 ways we want to focus. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. And I hope you have continued progress, Laurie. A laser on the lower dantian is also very good for the gut as well. So let's continue with Blue Sky and Popular Earthling. So you're welcome very much. Relaxed mind. So remember your fermented foods, your aloe vera if you have any IBS or inflammation. and the laser on the dantian, and all the points that we worked on. So, relaxed mind, the blood flow to the brain, and GB13 in the brain. So, COVID shot for Isaac. I suggest natto, N-A-T-T-O, fermented foods. Gotta get pine needle tea. Healing Spirits Herb Farm is the best place that I found for that. Of course, vitamin C, vitamin D. Blood flow, spinal artery to the vertebral artery, and we're working on eye health for the mom. We'll work our way down. C3, facial artery, ouch points, and I see popular earthling, excess belly fat. Is that Tiffany? We'll get you in 2 places, which is perfect timing. Facial artery, C3, C4 for the eyes for mom. P1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for the side effects of COVID. COVID shot. Good to see you, Tiffany. And also for the eyes, for Kathleen McGlynn, Sky Window, facial artery, eyes, CV17 and C3, big focus. So the question is, why do you have excess belly fat? And a lot of times it's not because of eating too much. Sometimes it's a matter of the body reacts to a lack of nutrients sometimes, and then it holds on to them, just as bears, when they hibernate, they hold on to that food because the body is in the mode where it may not get more food for a while. So if you increase your nutrient density of your foods, you can reverse that. And 2 parts: increase nutrient density foods into the body and increase toxins out of the body. And that's basically how we do it in our cleanse programs. So we accelerate nutrients in, accelerate water in, accelerate toxins out. And eventually that will kind of reset the body. Energetic frequencies as well. Issues are in the tissues, as they say. It's always important to know. Stress turns off your digestion. So if you have any stress, I don't know if I have any stress. Yes, I have stress. Vertebral artery, spinal artery. Yep. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And 8 for the pancreas. But don't forget T3 for the lungs, lung 1, lung 2 in Chinese medicine, also for the lungs, and CV17 for the lungs, for the dad. And it looks like the lower back is healed, but let's work on L1 to L5. Yep, everybody's got stress. So when you have stress, the body says, focus on stress or focus on digestion. So digestion gets second place. And welcome, Mumashari. And grounding. So let's work on the belly fat from our perspective. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And metabolism for brown fat. And regenerate bones. A good trick is 6 prunes a day. Accelerates resorption of bones. Clay adds silica and specific minerals for building bones. But let's work on the cartilage point, PO9. And the bones, T1. So energetic frequencies, let's work on GB13, right side, left side, and especially our third eye as we connect to our true selves for the desire of physical, emotional, and spiritual transformation and healing on all levels. And for extreme pain during menstruation, raspberry leaf tea. That's the best. That's one of the classic formulas. And third eye maintenance, that's where I just was. TV in Tong, third eye. We are together on that. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. So the microbiome, fermented foods is also good for managing excess belly fat. So we work on the microbiome, T11, T12, L4, and L5. And the specific bones, muscles, and cartilage on the right hip. So let's work on blood flow, nerve flow to help move, lumbosacral plexus, and the right hip especially, helping with mobility. And down the legs. So definitely a raspberry leaf tea. I would do that 1 to 2 weeks before, during, and after. And let me know how that goes. That's a classic balancer for that specific condition. It's not a condition, it's just a time. It's actually the body doing its miracles. And it needs a little bit of adjustment for hormone balancing, possibly. So let's work on GB20. But raspberry leaf tea, if you haven't tried that, definitely give that a shot. The second one would be ashwagandha, which is a balancing herb as well. And grounding for Tiffany. Number 3. Yep, raspberry leaf tea. First recommendation. Second is ashwagandha. And third would be fermented foods, because that also helps out to balance out your neurotransmitters, because most of them are created in the gut. So next we have friendly human. Confidential Individual, and Ferris. Welcome, Ferris. So blood flow to the brain. So we have some people from in Instagramlandia. Patty. Somebody requested to be on the live video. I'm not sure how that works. Sounds complicated to get that going. But maybe send me an email and we can figure it out for next time or something, because I've already got 2 screens going up and about 6 Facebook places to work. Vertebral artery to spinal artery. So headaches, GB21, 1920, GB20, gallbladder 20 on the back of the head, the classic point. And for anyone that wants to sign in to us, you don't need an account. You just go in as a guest. That's okay too. So headache, even migraines, chronic Lyme, Tommy Priester is an expert at Lyme. He's my teacher. He had Lyme, his wife had Lyme, and he fixes it for many people. The key is to attack the Lyme, especially during full moons, with herbal remedies, and then to bind and release the toxin after that. T123-478 for the Lyme, and the immune system is in the gut also. T11, T12, L4, and L5. T123-478, immune for the bad coughing, and then the cough itself for the lungs. T3 for confidential individual. T123-478, inflammation for friendly human, and for the cough, confidential individual. This must be what it's like to be at a meeting with a bunch of CIA people, right? Nobody's got a real name. But here we got nothing to hide. Possible Herx reaction, which means you probably need to eliminate toxins more quickly than you're destroying the pathogens. So through clay, oxygenated water, exercise, heat, or light, as well as Tongren. Teeth and gums, feeling weak. T123-478. And what's that, Tiffany? You have one more question. C3, 4, and 5, teeth, gums, and the throat. And C3 for eyesight for the mom of Faris. Simulations, I'm not sure what you mean by simulations. I'm not sure exactly what that means. And Emma. Hello, Emma. We will meet again. Even this weekend if it works for you. Otherwise, we'll just get it going right now. Lymph nodes. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for the eyes. So for the eyes, we do multiple things. C3 for the eyes. Facial artery, sky window for the eyes. Ouch point for the eyes. And pressure for the eyes. 4 things. GV17. Cardiac, respiratory, and vasculatory center. We're good. Glad we can connect now to keep that going for you. Emma. And for Tiffany, simulations, guided experiences are always good. Our mind responds to what we think, just as Joe Dispenza or Buddha would say. Guided imagery teaches the brain how to follow in a positive, energetic way to do work. And also digestive issues for Faris's mom, stomach, intestines as well. Let's do that right now. So we do T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for the immune system. T7 and T12, digestion, absorption, and elimination. And T11, T12, L4, L5 for the microbiome and the intestines and inflammation. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for Faris's mom, then the ouch point for the eyes, and CV4 for the stomach and intestines and digestive tract. And grounding, liver 3 and kidney 1. Okay, so keep in touch, you guys. So next we have type 2 diabetes for Gentle Stranger and Kimby's. Hello. Detox, adrenal health and healing of third broken right foot causing frustration and depression. So let's do blood flow to the brain. Brain command points for everyone. And Cheryl, you don't have to create an account. Timination, how you doing? T-1. Prostate cancer. Yeah, we should touch base and see how things are going. See if I've given you all the information that I have. I may have some new information or things you can be doing as well. Are things getting better, worse, or the same, Tim? Hopefully still improving. That's my goal. So we're going to be working for Gentle Stranger, type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is caused by diet, and it can be reversed by diet. It is insulin resistance, which is too much bad fat in the diet, not necessarily bad, but saturated fats, which are difficult, and they negatively impact pancreas uptake of insulin. You fix that, you can work on that. And the tremors, I don't want to miss that. I see that. T123-478, T8 for the type 2 diabetes. Tremors, there are herbs for tremors from India, Ayurvedic medicine. Sometimes the tremors are caused by constipation and gut malfunction, so you work on that area as well. T123-478, it is an inflammation condition. T8, pancreas for type 2 diabetes. For the tremors, we work on GB789, the substantia nigra part of the brain which controls movement. Make sure your vitamin B12 levels are optimized and full. So let's continue on. Kimby's Passionate Earthling. Detox, T123-478. The best way to detox is through clay, like we do in our 14-day clay detox program. And by the way, anybody that's interested in learning the tapping, the 29th, and we also have an interview with the Aloe Vera master, and I think that's coming up on the 25th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think it's on Tuesday. Interview with the Aloe Vera master that has also Essiac herbs, which are anti-cancer, macrophage, which is anti-inflammation. It's kind of like the best supplement that I know of. That's why I wanted to do an interview with her. How much, which for the interview on Tuesday, that's free for everyone. The Tongren workshop is $95, and the 14-day program is $475. But that's 2 complete weeks of supplies and all kinds of stuff. We're running one right now, a colon cleanse program. So T7 for the lower extremities, for the right foot, and I suggest clay poultice packs. The class is $95 for learning Tongren. 4 hours, and we basically learn how to do it, practice it, learn the anatomy, physiology, and then work on each other with hands-on work for everyone, because the goal is at the end of that workshop, you can do it yourself. And we always keep in touch to support everyone during the process. And afterwards, forever, as long as you do Tongren, we keep in touch as we do here now. T123-478 for detox, L1, L2 for adrenal health, T11, T12, L4, L5 for depression. More fermented foods, less depression. More clay, more bone building, and calcium balancing, C6, T7, T1 for the bones. The workshop is 1 to 5 Saturday on the 29th. Let me double check on the interview time for the Aloe Vera. I think someday we might have just like a master calendar. Okay, so Kimby's, welcome back. Tremors, we got everyone. Next, we work with Passionate Earthling. And Tim, T-1, blood flow to the brain. AML is a leukemia, so we focus on the bone marrow. And blood counts, there are specific herbs that increase blood counts. For leukemia, we focus on the bone marrow and the tailbone because that's a source of working with the helping the tailbone function. And remember, every breath you take moves the tailbone, so your breathing is also another way you can manage that. And last thing I'll say about that, there was a woman who adjusted tailbones about 100 years ago from Germany, and she cured 5,000 kids of leukemia with the tailbone adjustment, which I've learned and from a book and from understanding and from learning from people in New York. So it's good stuff to know. But let's work from Tongren for leukemia, because Tongren is really good with leukemia. So T1 for the bones. And let's work on the bone marrow by way of the craniosacral flow, GB789 and tailbone 1 to 4. So increased blood counts, T7 and the bones, T1, T6, T7, T1. And GB39 for the bones and the bone marrow. That information is so beneficial, I took a risk and I sent a copy of the book and the technique to St. Jude's Hospital. See what they do with that. T1 again for the bones for AML. Anti-inflammation for AML, boosting the immune system, which can be compromised by the bone marrow. And grounding to liver 3. Julia Rose, are you passionate earthling? Oops, showed up as someone else's name. So that is you, Julia Knight from Connecticut. So all of the, again, the T1 for the bones. Tailbone 1 to 4, bone marrow. Spleen for blood counts, cycling, and then there is certain Momashari. I thought I did leukemia, perfect bloods. I did that, if I got this right. Are you here? Momashari, yeah, perfect blood and lymph. I did that right at the beginning. And guess what? I'll do it again. No problem at all. And let's work for Tim, prostate, then Emma. It's good to see Emma from another continent. So blood flow to the brain. Brain command points, also good for AML. So let's work on the bone, perfect bloods. For everyone, AML and for perfect bloods. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. So for Tim, for prostate cancer, we work on the entire endocrine system, since it's related. Prostate is a gland. GV20, L1, 2, 3 for the prostate. So there are specific herbal remedies from a company that I work with to increase blood counts as well. And believe it or not, this can't see it, there it is. This device can also help with leukemia because it regulates your breath. So you're not hyperventilating. Regulating the breath regulates the tailbone, which regulates the bone marrow. So that chain of events is actually quite good. So L3 for the prostate. So blood flow, nerve flow. T7 for Tim, L3 for Tim. And after this, we'll do a lymph node tune-up for everyone, especially for Emma. Blood flow, and then down grounding for Tim. And then the other area for the prostate, CV4. Want to cover as much as we can. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. And hello, Drew. Yes, I missed calling you back. I do have it there. So a question is, what about nettle tea for the side effects of the shot? It's very good, but pine needle tea is better because it releases the aggregation of the spike proteins which have been generated and that stick to organs throughout the body. So definitely pine needle tea is better. The other ones that I've heard which are good are licorice, dandelion, and one more that I'll remember in a moment. So let's work for Cool Legend. Actually, Emma Sinclair, a lymph node tune-up for everyone. Blood flow to the brain and T3 for the lymph. So we're talking about herbs for the side effects of the vaccine and the boosters. The vaccine is basically a genetic injection spike protein generator. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Stress release for everyone. Relaxed Legend. You have the perfect name. So let's do a tune-up, a lymph tune-up for Emma. Axillary lymph of the armpits. Inguinal and pelvic lymph of the inguinal area. And the lymphatic duct, CV4, and for lymph drainage, skin brushing, castor oil pack on the belly, rebounding. Vertebral artery to spinal artery and T3 for the lymph and grounding, liver 3 and kidney 1. So next we tap for Cool Legend, ovarian cancer, and Drew for the heart and circulation. Absolutely. Blood flow to the brain. Ovarian, let's start with GB20 to initialize the endocrine system. So metastases, two good ways for metastases. One is from a micronutrients perspective from Dr. Rath. Number two is a biomat perspective from Dr. Yoshimitsu. Those are two good ways to prevent cancer metastases, as well as hyperalkalizing the body with oxygenated waters and other things like that, and a plant-based diet, of course. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. T1 for the bones. T3 for the lungs. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for nausea. L1, 2, 3 for the ovarian area. S5 for the peritoneum. And let's do a little bit more with the lungs, CV17. It's good for the lungs and the heart for Drew. T5 for the heart for Drew. CV20 for the body thermostat, the pituitary. And GV17 for the circulation, cardiac, respiratory, and vasculatory center. And for a nice one, let's work for brain tumor. Look up HUISH, how she cured her brain tumor with inhaling through the sinuses, frankincense and other essential oils. That's one way, because frankincense is anti-cancer. The best way to get it to the brain is through inhalation through steam or essential oils. That's one way. And then from a Tongren perspective, blood flow to the brain, sky window. And it's good to see you, by the way, Drew. Thank you for joining. PTSD, GB13 for confident being. C1, C2, GB13 for PTSD. Seasonal disorder, vitamin D and lots of fermented foods. But let's work on the brain tumor, sky window to the brain. And if you have more details where the situation is in the brain, that would be good to know as well. And good luck with all that. Those are challenging. C1, 2, 3 for the brain as well. Sky window, GB13, right side, and then the internal parts of the brain, GB7, 8, 9, and 14. Seasonal affective disorder, for sure, light, and the in-tongue third eye area. And grounding as well. And hello, Esther, Masterpiece Maker. All right. And we have time to finish up. Yes, Masterpiece Theater, if anybody knows about Masterpiece Theater, the rule of thumb is if you watch it more than, even at something a show you don't know about, watch it more than 2 or 3 minutes, you're hooked. I did it twice this weekend. Once with a new show, especially Vienna Blood, which I thought looked terrible, but couldn't stop. And then Around the World in 80 Days, another one. I looked at it a few minutes, it looked terrible, but then it's Masterpiece Theater. I'm hooked. All right, Cheryl Ann, what is the name of the website you mentioned once? Pertain to help with dental issues. Oh, dental issues. That would be Primal Organics, I think, is the name of the website, which has all kinds of good stuff for the teeth. I use it myself. It's got clay for brushing. It has tongue scraping. It has essential oils for the gums. I think it's called Primal Organics or Primal Life Organics. They also do teeth whitening through, not through hydrogen peroxide, but through light therapy. Like I believe that so much about light therapy. So, and we'll work with Alistair Crowley for mouth, dental, bone, and gum. So blood flow to the brain. And for wandering soul, abdominal hernia, ED, calves, and edema. And for auditory visual hallucinations, GB 78914. I think it's Primal Life Organics. Excellent company. A little pricey, but good to use, especially at the beginning, and then maybe simplify it later, but definitely worth the investment. These things work for receding gums. Of course, the number one thing you can do tomorrow is coconut swishing for 15 minutes. Take coconut oil, ideally with a little bit of sesame oil, swish it in your mouth for 10 or 15 minutes while you're reading a good book, and then that will actually fix so many things. That alone is great. So mouth, dental, bones. C3, 4, 5, and the ouch point for mouth, dental, and bones. And GB 789 and 14 for the visual hallucinations, auditory and visual hallucinations of the brain. And we have friendly humanoid. C4, 5, 6, and 7 for the bone, for the gums, and the ouch point for the bone and the gums, and the blood flow, sky window, and facial artery for the bones and the gums as well. So ED is pancreas, insulin resistance, so let's work on inflammation, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And thank you for joining, Alistair. Edema, work on the kidneys. So edema, work on lymph drainage. Those three areas. The rebounding, castor oil, belly wrap, Tongren, of course, and skin brushing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for the ED and for the sugar levels. Pancreas, pancreas, pancreas. So in terms of clay, we have a detox cleanse, which is a 2-week program of learning about clay and using clay for 2 weeks to learn all the benefits. But in general, you can drink clay. Clay is a binder and a detoxifier in the body. It's the best one. It literally binds to viruses, parasites, heavy metals, toxins, and poisons, and escorts them out of the body. So you can do clay baths through the skin, which is our second liver, and then you can also drink it, which means it's going to kind of alkalize and detoxify the entire digestive tract all the way through the colon. Yes, you can reuse clay externally. You can get a couple of baths out of it for sure. So GB 13 for hallucinations, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for fibroids, and T8 for sugar levels, T11, T12 for the microbiome, L4 and L5 for the microbiome as well. So we're grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. We had a great group of people today. Thank you all for joining. Frolov. This is not a Frolov device. This is more convenient and it works pretty well. It's called a Relaxator. Relaxator. It comes from Europe. You can have it around your neck. It creates resistance breathing, which is a technique from Buteyko, which is a brilliant technique, which increases oxygen in the body, manages breath, and manages the carbon dioxide-oxygen balance in the body, which increases oxygen into the tissues. It's convenient and easy. Brilliant guy. There's a book called Breath, and he's in that book. He wrote a whole book about, well, he was a player in the book. The book was written by Mr. Nestor. So let's do it. Furlov is another device. Relaxator, Relaxator, like relax, relaxator. We could even do a sound effect. Relaxator. How's that? Relaxator. The website is consciousbreathing.com. There you go. I highly recommend it for everyone. Furlov is excellent. This is excellent and convenient. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Appreciate your time. If you're interested, just email me about clay detox programs. We got one coming up next month. Colon cleanses in a couple of months. That's for an oxygen flooding colon cleanse immune boost, and all of these things. And then on the 29th, we have the teaching of Tongren. So, Catherine, you were included. I did include you with the eyes. Thank you. I didn't see it on my phone, but you were included. Thank you very much. And have a great day, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day and see you next week, if not sooner. Feel free to contact me with any information, any questions about anything. Happy to help as much as I can. And we are good to go. Have a great day. Be kind to one another. Blessings to you all. Hoping for recovery, feeling better for everyone. Thank you.